All right, you guys, we'll be right back with a song from yours truly. As introduced to me.
We're going to actually play it right now.
Oh, here we go.
Would you like to introduce this song?
One delightful evening when the sky was burning red. No, Vinny showed me this song like a couple of weeks ago, and I've been freaking obsessed with it ever since. And this is the live version, and the live version, like all of her versions are like somewhat different. This particular one I love specifically at the end when she gets on the ground and starts singing from there. So check it out.
As if you just told the people that she was going to do that.
She's going to get on the ground?
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert.
It's the best part of the song.
Yeah, I'm saying look out for it.
Let the flames begin! XBM knew. XBM knew.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, he's scary. He's from the Bronx. He's from, he went to Truman, all type of shit.
Okay.
All right, here we go with that.
Then. You know.
Weakness is our strength, and our dice and secrets.
Love the song.
Black
I love
Eye
the
Later.
ending. It's so freaking good.
Black Eye Later. Somebody said like they have like amazing stamina when they play live.
Oh well,
Um,
I mean,
and I, I mean, I can't say I agree because I've never seen them live,
we've
but
seen these recordings though, and she
yeah.
doesn't even look like she's freaking out of breath. And she did all that jumping around and then went right
Well,
in.
yeah, that's the crazy thing about her is that like she didn't miss her note or anything, and she's like full on rocking and still able to sing like that without getting winded. Like those guys are in really good shape.
And there are some people that when they do songs like you had said earlier tonight, she did that song and you could tell that she had maxed herself out and she was at like right where she could go. This girl looks like she's playing with the music.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to her live videos, she keeps changing it. Like what she says at the end, she says something different. It reminded me of like Michael Jordan when you said like it was just obvious that he just owned the game and it was just, and then it was like, well, let me try with this one. Let me, you know what I mean? Like, because he was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like this song in particular, she owns it so much, and it's like such a part of her that even like I think that that's amazing that an artist will just change the lyrics because their song is theirs, and however it is for them in that moment, they're gonna go with it. I just love that. I just love the way she sells out, and for me, this is worship. I would love to be a part of a church that like this is the kind of worship that got done. Like the way that she sells out like that at the end, and oh man, I just
You'd have a
love this
giant
song.
mosh pit in your church.
Yeah, and I think there should be. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely think there should be a mosh pit at church. There should be a lot of stuff at church that isn't there.
She stops her song when she sees guys talk shit to her, and Maria Brink stopped the concert to put light on the dude who groped a girl in front of her. The fucking nerve. You shouldn't do that anyway. But you're gonna do some shit like that at a
At
concert
her
with
concert like that, when she's women, come on, man, listen.
I don't like these problems are so easily solvable, man. Like
Which is, what's the song? Is this a Jesus approach?
I just think it's disgraceful that Maria Brink even had to do that.
Oh,
Like
I
there
agree.
were no dudes around
I
there to
agree.
handle that situation. Like that's not a hard problem to solve, bro. I'm not even saying like you have to be reckless because if you're up front, the security's right there, right? So you could just say, "Listen, this dude's out here touching these girls." Like you don't have to
God.
be, you don't have to be all. Anyway, we continue. We continue. But that's why, like people, oh, you're woke, blah blah. Look, man, women in that context, in that environment, the metal environment, an environment where antisocial behavior is encouraged. Where else can you go and run around, jump, scream, yell, push and shove people?
Mm-hmm.
All those things are antisocial behaviors. So you get people who you have an environment where that's encouraged. Then you get a bunch of angry people together because we're metalheads and we're angry and we're hurt and we're whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you put them all there, and then you bring a woman out on stage as the object of attention. That's extremely difficult. That's a barrier that they have to overcome. That's real. And so anytime I see a female, Amy Lee, this girl, Angela from Arch Enemy, to me is almost an exception. Like I feel the minute that woman stepped out, like her and like OTEP, it's like
Yeah.
okay, chill out. You
Yeah.
might bring out a fucking dagger.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
send me to the ninth circle of hell or some shit. But like it's now not to say that because I also know there are a lot of dudes in metal shows that would show out and be respectful and whatever. So I don't want to like stereotype dudes, but I do want to acknowledge that must be extremely difficult, and for her to do that, for them to be able to do that and make it at that level without selling out and without sexualizing yourself.
Yeah.
And again, it's a tough balance because it's like women get to express themselves sexually too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just because a girl comes out in something revealing, she might just be wearing that shit for herself. Had nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? Simultaneous to that, though, I do like that she doesn't like to wear those things on stage because we've seen enough of it. You know what I'm saying? Man, she's great. It's just a great song. I love the song.
Me too, from start to finish, and that ending is just incredible.
When she talks about this is how we'll dance when they try to take us down. This is what will be, oh glory.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand what the term glory means from a biblical perspective.
Right.
So, like the quickest way to describe glory would simply to be everything that God is. So, every aspect and attribute of God is glorious. That's that's who God is. Glory is just another nickname for God's nature. And so, when we are glorified, that's a biblical term. What we mean is to say that we are going to be a Jesusified version of ourselves while still remaining ourselves. So we will be completely honest, completely pure, completely loving. Everything we say will always be the truth and will always be loving, and that is glorious. But there's a scriptural principle, and the scriptural principle is we will reign with Christ if we suffer with him. And there's no way to get to the crown from a biblical worldview without first going through a cross. So when the song says, let the flame begin, she's saying, because I'm interpreting the flames as the First Peter, where he talks about your fiery trial and things of that nature, because Peter was writing to Christians under the Neronic rule. And remember, Nero had the great fire in Rome, and he blamed it on the Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So they were setting Christians on fire in Nero's gardens and all the rest of it. And so in First Peter, he says, do not be surprised at the fiery trial you are enduring. And that's the context. And in the Christian worldview, the idea is, the math is, to the degree that you suffer, is the degree to which you will be glorified. So Paul says, I consider our light and momentary afflictions are working for us an eternal weight of glory.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's your afflictions, your suffering, you going through the flames is, God has a good purpose behind it. It's designed for you to see God's glory, meaning for you to see God coming through in your life when you thought it was over. That's glory. And then when you are able to maintain strength in the midst of a bad doctor's visit, in the midst of a bad phone call, in the midst of a divorce, in the midst of fill in the blank, when you're able to look at God and say, you've come through for me so many times. If you don't come through for me this time, there's a good reason for it. And that is your glory. So my glory is my ability to reflect God's glory no matter what my circumstances are. So she's saying, let the flames begin. In other words, okay, if I have to go through this trial to get to the other side, then do it. And that's why at the end, she's talking to God. It's really interesting because she says, in the first DVD, it says, I want to dance in the palm of your mighty hand.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, she said, I want to dance in the palm of your bloody hand.
Mm-hmm. Bloody right
in the
hand.
bloody palm of your hand is what
she said. Right hand.
You keep saying that. She doesn't say that. She's
okay,
the bloody palm of your hand.
All right.
But either way, like, again, that's a very powerful verbal metaphor. I want to dance in the bloody palm of your hand. It's like your religion, the ultimate symbol of your religion, is an instrument of torture and extreme pain and death. How did you believe that you were going to have a comfortable life?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not supposed to want to suffer. You're not supposed to want that. But what you're supposed to want is the closeness of the relationship with God. Because one of the things that happens when you suffer, Paul talked about that in Philippians 4, to know Christ and the fellowship in his suffering. That's what he said. He said to know Christ and the fellowship of his sufferings. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when Paul wrote that, Christ was in heaven. He wasn't undergoing any sufferings. But in Paul's mind, all the suffering that he endured was actually Christ's sufferings for a multitude of reasons. One is because the people that were hating Paul really didn't hate Paul, they hated Christ. So I'm an atheist or whatever and say all types of reckless shit about me. They don't hate me. They hate the God who made them that they have to report to, and they resent him for existing because they want to live their own life. They don't hate me. That's why I don't take the shit personally. But Paul says the fellowship of his sufferings, and one side of the suffering is Christ knows they don't care about Paul. This is happening to Paul because of me. And that makes Christ suffer. Another side of that is the scripture says in all our affliction, he is afflicted.
Yeah.
So when Paul is suffering, Christ loves Paul so much that it's Christ suffering himself. But Paul understands, I'm loved so much that when you do something to me, Christ feels it worse than I do. So he doesn't talk about, I want to know Christ and how he fellowships with me in my suffering. Paul's thinking about Jesus and going, oh man, this is so terrible that you have to think about me being harmed. So that's the fellowship in your suffering. And that's a scripture you will never understand until you become a father. Because once you become a father, the worst thing in the world is for your kid to be sad. It's the worst thing in the world. It makes you want to jump off a bridge.
Wow.
So I understand a little bit of how much God loves us. And there's a lot of times when he's told to me, like, you know, when he showed up to me as a surgeon, some meat cleaver, and say, hey, I got to do some surgery. I just need you to trust me now. No, there's no anesthesia. Here we go. Like, that happens. He'll do that with you. Like, the thing I love about Jesus was that he didn't, there was no fine print. So you end up on a cross. You're like, what the fuck? He's like, I told you, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. So you can't complain. There was no. So anyway, it's a beautiful song. Let the flames begin, because the flames represent the purifying aspect of proximity to God. It also reflects the suffering that is going to happen to all of us. There's some of us that are not going to be here in 365 days the next Thanksgiving. That's just real. It's just real, guys. There's a reason people are depressed every fucking Thanksgiving. It happened again. I'm just so sick and tired of talking about dead people that, I'm not going to talk about it. But on the one hand, I've been unfortunate, but on the other hand, I've been very fortunate because it gives me. A lot of us are walking around in a complete and total haze, man. A complete and total haze. This world is not all that there is. It just isn't. So what I would say is I'm very, very, very grateful that I was able to spend this time with you guys. Because like I said, not all of us are going to be back next year. So I'm very grateful for all of you. And when I say we're not all going to be together next year, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the line for any of us, because I don't believe that. Consciousness doesn't go anywhere. Consciousness does not have extension in this plane, in three-dimensional, four-dimensional universe. But that's a different discussion. The point is, make sure you're right with your creator. All the debates are fun, all the whatever, but you didn't get here from random accidents. Stop it. You don't believe that. Just make sure you're right with your creator. And for us, I've only had one perfect being say to me directly, I will take what you deserve. So I'll take that deal. And I commend that to you, dear listener. Go ahead. What were you saying?
It's gone.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Maybe the dead are doing way better than us here. Well, it's what I always say. It's what I always say, Hal, is that, I had an aunt that died in 9/11, and she wouldn't trade places with any of y'all or me right now. So there you go. Thank you, all you beautiful people, for showing up. That's a song. That song's an 11. I've been listening to that song for 10, 15 years. I love that song.
It's 11 for me, too.
It's a brilliant, brilliant song. Much love to everybody here. Shout out to Helena, Canada Rocks, Ben, Sadie. Who else won? And Aaron. Aaron was our first winner.
For Ashley.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for staying so long on Thanksgiving, spending time with us. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Much love to everybody.
And I think we have another stream tomorrow.
We do have a stream tomorrow.
For DJ Nick.
Nick.
Be on the lookout for that.
So be on the lookout, guys. We love all you beautiful people.
Bye, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Much love.
And God bless.
We're out of here.